Hello, guys, and hello, guys. Hello, I'm Caio from IATA, and here we are with our colleague from locksmithkeyless, David. Hello, David. How are you doing?
Hello, Kyle. I'm fine, man. Everything is fine.
Great. So here we have another day to talk about the Autel devices from the manufacturer Autel. So we start this live streaming series to talking about the IM608 Pro. Then we talk about the XP400, and today we are here to talk about the Xbox 2, the GBOX2. Sorry, what we can do with this device and what we cannot do with this device. What is and if it is necessary for the guys who work with keys, or even for the guys who work with diagnostics, if we need to have it or we don't have to have it. So, David, do you have something to add?
Well, I think that the lineup for today, maybe it will be to speak about the G-Box with a 608, which is the main device that is intended to work with. Also, the G-Box with the IM508, if it can be used, what is needed to be used with a 508.
Sure.
And that's mainly it. Also, like the basics, do you require Wi-Fi to work with it? Is it only with to work with BMW, or you can also use it with Mercedes? Or because people sometimes are confused and think that it's only for Mercedes, for example, and they don't
Okay.
know that you can use it with BMW, and they don't know like the full capabilities of the box, the G-Box.
Perfect. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. Also, about
So,
the programming
please.
in circuit and out of circuit, or what is the difference between them?
Okay.
And that's it.
Perfect. So let's talk about the GBOX2. The GBOX2 was mainly used to work with the Mercedes brands at the beginning. Okay. In Mercedes-Benz, we can use this device, the G-Box, to speed up the process on reading the password for when we do a spare key for Mercedes. We need to read the password, right? It's like the PIN code in Mercedes. And this device, the G-Box that we have here, can speed up the process in like 80%, 80, 90%. At the beginning, when we start to work with the G-Box, without the G-Box, to do a spare key in a Mercedes car, we can take like 2, 3, 4 hours to extract the password. When Autel develops the G-Box2, this procedure was like speed up for 20 minutes, the 20 or 40 minutes. So it was decreased a lot the time. So right now we can do this key in sometimes in 5 minutes, sometimes in 20 minutes, and sometimes in 40 minutes. It will depend on the state of the immobilizer on the Mercedes. But it's not just for Mercedes. The GBOX2 can be used to read engine control units for BMW as well, and in Mercedes as well, not just for immobilizer. We can read on bench the information on the engine control unit. And for example, if we have an all key loss situation, okay, talking about the locksmith guys, if we have an all key loss situation in BMW, we can read, for example, the ISN, the code from that we need to be able to do a all key loss situation in BMW. And Autel will give us all the steps that we need to do. We'll open a screen like we saw in the last week. It will open a screen and it will give us the diagram. So we don't need to solder any cable, all right, to do on bench. If we need to do on boot mode, all right, we have two main options to read with the GBOX2. Mainly, we can use it everything by OBD. So we just plug the device, we just start reading, and we can do everything by OBD. Once we read by OBD this ISN, this code, we can do our key. If the engine control unit is a modern one, we cannot read by OBD. We need to take out the ECU, the engine control unit, and we need to do a procedure that we call boot mode. That we need sometimes to open the cover of the engine control unit, all right? and in one specific point we need to solder one cable, all right, to do the boot. That's why we call boot mode, all right. Both ways, boot mode and bench mode by OBD, we can read and we can do with all the steps. Autel will give us all the steps we need to do, the diagram, all right. And we can use with IM608 and IM508, IM608 Pro and 508. It's we can do in with both devices. We need to do as well, not only for reading ECUs or immobilizer in Mercedes. We need to use this device, for example, in an all-key loss situation for the new Toyota with the transponder 8A. Without the G-BOX2, we cannot do all-key loss situation or even a key programming on those cars. So it's very important to have it. I think all the locksmith guys who don't have the G-BOX2, they need to have it, all right? Because it's a must-have in your workshop, in your work, right? David, any questions? So, yes, it don't works with Wi-Fi. Okay, it works directly with the device. Let's do an unboxing, and I will talk about what we have inside and how to solder, how to connect the cables. David, if you have any questions, please let me know.
No, in the next step to speak about, if let's say that you have a 508, that you are a locksmith, that you want to start small and you don't have the full amount of money to buy the 608, and you first bought the 508, and I don't know, it's been 6 months, business is doing great, and you want to expand, you want to do more stuff, can you buy the G-BOX2 and add more capabilities? So what do you need to do that?
For sure, you need to buy it. It's a must-have. Even if you have the 508, as we talk about in the first video about the 608, the 508 have the same functions from the 608 when we talk about the immobilizer functions. So if we have all the functions that we have in the 608 immobilizer functions, so we need to have the G-BOX to be able to do all the keys that Autel can do. If we don't have the G-BOX, some cars we cannot do because we don't have it. So it's a must-have. Okay, even if you have the 508, you can use the G-BOX2 without a problem.
But you have to combine it with the XP400 Pro, or just the G-BOX with the 508?
No, you can work just with the G-BOX2.
Okay, great.
All right. So let's do a little unboxing pretty fast. So here we have the main device. All right. Inside of the box, let me put just my screen. I think it will be better to see everything that we have. That's the G-BOX. It came inside of this box. That's the original box from the G-BOX2. All right. Inside of the box, what we have inside, it will come with a lot of cables that we need to use in order to do everything that Autel can give us, all the procedures and cars Autel develops for us. All right. Here we have all the cables, and the main cable on the G-BOX will be the DB15. All right. It's this cable that we connect directly to the G-BOX. All right. Here we have connected, and all the cables that we will connect on our engine control unit to be able to read it, or read the IS and the EEPROM in some models. All right. All the cables, when we need to use it, Autel will give us the screenshot of each cable that we need to use in some situations. So that's what came inside of the G-BOX. We have an adapter, an extensor, because in some cases, let me show you guys. Some cases, the OBD is kind of far away from our access, and the G-BOX is kind of big. So what we can do is like this. So we can use in the car. All right. Is an extensor to be used on the car. It's a main have in your workshop, the G-BOX for diagnostic. You can do a diagnosis with this device if you have a power supply on your bench. If you have the power supply and the G-BOX, you can even do a diagnostic on the device, on the unit, on the engine control unit, for example, to be able to verify if the issue is working or not. Do you have some questions on the chat, David? Do you think? Let's see.
Well, no, the other
Or if you
question,
have any questions for me.
yes. Well, about the Wi-Fi, I think that yeah, sometimes you need it and sometimes you don't. I don't.
With the G-BOX, let me put your screen back.
Yeah.
Here you are. The G-BOX, no, you don't need Wi-Fi connection to work with the G-BOX directly. You need Wi-Fi on your device in the 508 or 608 to do some procedure. If you need to read the ISN, your device need to have Wi-Fi, but the G-BOX is connected by offline. You don't need any connection here, all right? You just have the 12 volts. You need to put 12 volts here. You have the OBD to connect your device and the OBD to connect on the car. And of course, the DB15 to connect the multiplexed cable to be able to read on bench some engine control units. Here, at the top of the device, let me put my screen. At the top of the device, you will have some connectors. For example, you will have CAN low and CAN high, and K-line connection, the old protocol of communication in the cars. You have as well one ground, two relays, and 12 volts. Everything that you saw here on the top of the device, your IM608 or 508 will tell you when to use it. All right? So, talking again, all the connections, 12 volts and ground, CAN low, CAN high, and K-line communication. Here you have your DB15 connector to be able to read on bench all the engine control units. And here you have your 12 volts connection.
Okay, so you need to connect it to a power supply.
Yes, you can use your power supply from your device, all right? Or you can buy a power supply to work on bench. I always say a power supply to work on bench is always better than the power supply that comes with the device, because the power supply that comes with the device, it comes with a low amps. It comes with 2 amps. So in some units it's low. You need more amps to work on some units. And the 508 don't came with the same connector. If you see here, it's a round connector. And the 508 comes with the USB connector for charging. So you need to have an external power supply to work with the 508.
Okay. I think that in the quick sheet guide on the box, you have like all that information, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You have here, let me just put here to the guys, this quick sheet, this quick reference guide have all the information that what is each cable. And don't forget, the Autel IM508 and 608 will tell you when to use it and when to not use it, when you have to use it. So don't worry, it's a device. It's a must-have device, and your device will tell you when you need to use it.
Okay. I have also seen in some cases people using the G-BOX combined with the pass-through, the J2534.
I mean, when you need to use the G-BOX is not used for pass-through. You can use it like how your device connects to the car. If you have the IM608, you need to connect your J2534 on your device, on your G-BOX, to be able to do, for example, in Toyota from 2018-19, you need to use the G-BOX with the VCI, the J2534. You connect on your device, but not the pass-through function. All right, it's just like the VCI for your device. Okay.
Yeah, so we are seeing here that it's not only for Mercedes. That's like the common knowledge, the common idea that people have, that it's only to work with MB, with Mercedes Benz, and at the end of the day, it's a very powerful tool. So it can reduce calculation times.
You reduce calculation times. You can read ISN from BMW. You can read the engine control units on BMW and Mercedes. You use it for all key loss situation on Toyota. Okay, and those are the main functions of the device. I think with those four options, you pay the device in like, I don't know, a month if you work with the device every day. Let's see if you have any questions on the chat, David, or do you have any more questions specifically to talk about today?
The only one that is left, it was like comparing this one with the GBOX1. I've seen
Oh,
that
it's a very good question.
in the GBOX1, for example, when you are working with some BMWs, you needed to drill the module to finish in a part of the process. In
Good
this
question.
GBOX2, you don't need to do any of that. It's just
Yes, you.
it's a
Okay.
different approach. I mean, it's always going to be a little technical, but it's not as hard as it was with a GBOX1. So it's
Yeah,
an
but
improvement as well.
just a correction. The GBOX1 and the GBOX2, you always, in some cases, depends on the type of the engine control unit, you need to drill a hole or you take out the cover, or you drill a little hole on the cover of the engine control unit. That depends of the type of the ECU. Some cases on some new BMWs, for example, there's no other way with the GBOX to read it. So you need to make a little hole, but the Autel will give you all the instructions on how to do it. All right.
Okay, okay.
And you ask the difference between the GBOX1 and GBOX2. The GBOX1 don't read any units from Bosch, engine control units from Bosch. So the GBOX works with Bosch units. So it's a very big difference between those two units. Because with the GBOX2, you can do almost all the engine control units on BMW and Mercedes. Because Bosch units, you have a lot of on the cars. And with the GBOX1, you could not do it. That's the main difference.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. Adrian Perez, let me put here on the screen his question. Hi guys, when you do all key loss on BMW, do I need to get the ISN from DME? Depends, Adrian. Depends on the type of the car. Okay, the most modern cars from 2013, 14, yes, you need to read the ISN when you have the all key loss situation. You have the ISN on the DMA, so yes, you need to read it. From older cars until 2010, 9 or 10, the years are very complicated, but you don't need it. Always when you have the CAS3 Plus, you always need the ISN. If you have a CAS3, a normal CAS3, you don't need to have the ISN. You just can read the information from the CAS, and that's it. Let's see. Here, another question from Peter. Can IM608 do a key for C-Class 2014 keyless? That will depend the chassis of the car. Okay, if you want, just send me here the chassis of the car and I can confirm to you. Just remember it for the guys who work with keys and the auto devices right now, and there is no other device on the world that can do FBS4. That's the new system from keys on Mercedes. All the keys on the market and auto have a lot more procedures to do it, is the FBS3. So if this car, the C-Class 2014 is FBS4, we cannot do anything on this car.
Okay, Caio, I wanted
Yes.
to point out that it's always helpful to check the Autel website, autel.com, and there is a link there that is called vehicle coverage, and in there you can search. For example, you have a deployable list. When you check you search for your device. If you have an Ultra, you have a 608 or a 508, you check for IMO 608, and then you can select the vehicle coverage. I mean, it's not that page is always updating, but at least you have a broad reference regarding your market and your vehicle. And you have to sometimes you have to be a little specific with the car. Also, you have to select the market of the car because the same brand, I don't know, Chrysler or Ford, you have Ford for North America, but you have Ford for Europe, Ford for Asia. So sometimes they have differences. So you have to
Different
select the
different
market that you're.
protocols. That's very important. Great. That's very important. Yes.
So, but you can check. At least you can have a reference there, and you will see what the Autel can do and cannot do.
I will
And
put here the link for everyone. Just give me a second. Guys, here you have the link. I don't know if I can put the links in the YouTube channel, but I will try. I think, yep, I can do it. If not, guys, just go for autel.com, go for support. Inside of the support option, you have vehicle coverage, and that's it. You have all the information that David was talking about.
yeah, you have to select the scanner that you have or the scanner that you want to search for. And in this case of the 608, it will be, I think, IMO, IMMO, and then 608, and then you will have IMO 508. So you select
Yes.
the 608. I don't remember if it differentiates then within 608 Pro and 608 alone, but well, you have to just explore that, and then just go step by step. The vehicle, the model, and the year. If you left the year unselected, it will just show you everything for that car. So and then you can just download that if you want to and print it, and you have everything. But it's better to keep the website on hand because that changes from year to year. Maybe today there is a car or a function within a car that Autel hasn't cannot perform, but in 2 weeks or in 1 month it can do it. So you have to keep searching in that website.
Yeah, of course. And Auto, as we know, is always updating their device. Like every day, almost you have some kind of update to do on your device, and all those updates will go directly to the coverage list. So it's very important to maintain it, to have it on hand. Just when some customer call you, hey, can we do an all key loss situation, or can you do a spare key for my car? You just go to the web page, the coverage list, and just search. That's a very useful tool. And there is not that many people that knows about the coverage list, but now you guys know it. Hey guys, some more questions in the chat. Can we ask you any questions about the G-Box today? I think that was everything for today, David.
Yeah, that's basically it. The G-Box is not a very complex device. When you see it firsthand, when you see all the cables, all those Virgin cables, you see, well, that's not for me. I just want to do stuff OBD, and that's it. But then you realize that it's not that complicated. It's just 2 or 3 more instructions that you have to follow, and the machine guides you all the way through. You will have all the instructions there, all the steps. That's it. When you do it for the fourth time, you will already master the process. First time, you will take maybe 2 hours to do a job that requires 10 minutes, but eventually you will get it and you will do it with your eye closed. So it's the same with everything. You just need time and you will get it, and the machine will guide you. It's not that hard. You just need patience and work hard to get it. That's it.
Well, of course, it's pretty easy. It's a very useful device. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching again another week. The next week we will be talking about the IM KPA and the APB112, another two devices that we will be talking about in the same day because they are very useful for everyone, and I think it will be a great a great talk about this, a great discussion, right, David?
Yeah, and the APB112 is a very powerful small tool. You have to be very careful not to lose it, because it's you can drop it, or you can leave it on the seat of a car, and that's it. Goodbye APB112.
We
But it's
had a lot
very,
of customers that lost it.
yeah, it's a very powerful tool. You have to, I don't know, attach some kind of key ring to it, but it's one of the best attachment to the 608 as well.
For sure. And we have a last question from someone. Yes, you can do Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Lotus. It will depend, of course. Remember, Ferrari is at the end is a Fiat, so depends on the year. You have the same system as a Fiat like 400, like a Fiat Bravo. Of course, it will depend of the year of the car. But if you have Ferraris like 2015, 14, 13, you will be able to do the spare key for sure.
Yeah,
No problem.
to that same person that asked that question, you can just play around and explore the vehicle coverage page on Autel and just go Ferrari and go model by model, year by year, and you can just compare and see what you can do before buying the tool. If you want to invest in that tool, just check what market you can access. It can do
For
Rolls
sure.
Royce, yes, no. It can do Bentley, I don't know. It can do Ferrari. You just need to explore the link, explore the page, and do your calculations and just get into it and buy the tool.
Yep. Just remember what I said: Ferrari, Fiat, like a Lamborghini, Bentley, everything is VSG Group. So yeah, you will be able to do it. But take a look on the coverage list, and all the questions are there for sure. You can see it, and you have your question. Answer it. Okay, David. Thanks again to be here with me in this day. And that's it, guys. See you guys on the next Thursday. We will be talking about the IM KPA and APB 112. Thanks for watching. I see
Great.
you guys in the next week. Thanks, David.
Okay, man. Bye bye.
Bye bye.